Hello? There we
Okay,
go.
you are live. I'm here.
Kind of breaking up a little bit. It says live, but that's about it.
Okay, yes. Yeah, you're on.
Awesome. Hey. So what's up, everybody? My name is Reggie Campbell, photographer in San Antonio. Do weddings, editorials, good stuff like that. Um, Pretty honored that y'all guys asked me to do this, and I'm here to answer pretty much any questions you might have. And I'm actually here to talk about um, having your own vision and not really doing or caring what about everybody else is doing in the industry. I'm thinking it's going through. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm looking at it and I don't see I don't see the little faces or anything. Oh man. So started photography about well, all right. My dad was a photographer. My grandfather was a photographer. Um, I've been shooting weddings 10 years, something like that. Um, didn't want to be a photographer and ended up being one anyway. Played football for a long time, bodybuild, fitness, and photography found its way into my life. So look at I don't know if any of you guys ever see my work. If you want to see it, it's regcamble.com. And if you have any questions about like how I compose, how I shoot, anything like that, my workflow, my process, just throw them out there. I'm open book. Pricing, anything.
Okay. I also typed over on the right your website for you, so you don't have to worry about trying to keep up. I'm typing for you.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. uh,
No problem.
Hey Reg, you're a film photographer?
yes, 100%.
Oh, okay. How did you make the transition, or what was that process like?
Um, well, I guess you could say, well, back then it was like film, then digital for like 2 years, and I never really liked the skin tone or the colors or the tonality of digital. And I mean, you can't beat medium format film. There's nothing like even digital medium format cameras can't touch medium format film as far as tonality, color, and depending on what type of scanner, the resolution. And it just gives me a look that I can't get any other way. Yeah, you could fake the colors almost, but as far as like the tonality of like a say a skin tone of brown going into light brown, you can't get that with digital. It's not there yet. It's getting close, but it's not there yet.
So, how do you feel about like all these film actions and stuff? Because those are really popular.
I would say I totally hate all of them. The best one will probably be the Maston Film Lab. That's probably the closest, but you still never
Okay.
you're getting what somebody think film looks like. You're not getting what film looks like. You're getting somebody's interpretation. Film could look 100 different type of ways depending on how you scan it and how you shoot it. Like if you want more saturated color, you overexpose it. If you want desaturated color, you underexpose it. You know, there's so many ways you can shoot film and get different looks rather than just use and their presets, the presets are set to give you a look that they want, that they like. And if you want a certain look, then you're just either going to have to shoot film and figure out how to get it, or play with presets in digital and figure out how to get it. But to me, film is
I
definitely
know
where.
that. Okay.
So now we know the final lineup for Europe, and for the last wild card pick we heard about there, it was an extra special. Happy birthday to Katrina Matthew, 46 years old today.
That's
She
TV
holds
on.
mind and
Uh,
ever present.
Let me put this on mute. Okay. Alrighty.
Have any of you guys ever shot film?
I tried it and I sent it to the film lab and it was so horrible. It was so bad. Like so bad. That yeah, those never made it to the light of day.
What did you shoot? Like what type of film?
Something in a green and white package. I think it
That
starts with an L.
with a F?
Maybe an L.
L.
It's green and white though. I know it's green and white. And black on the package is green and white.
All right, that
Um,
might be Supriya, Fuji Supriya. Did you get it from like um a Target, Walmart's, or a convenience store, or did you get it go to a photography store?
I know they sell it at the photography store. I didn't get it. It was already in the classroom that I moved into.
Was it color or black and
So
white?
it was black and white.
Oh, okay, so that's Ilford. That's Ilford HP5.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. And with that film, there's a lot of grain if you overexpose it a lot. And was there a lot of
Oh,
grain?
it was horrible. It was a lot of everything. Um,
Uh,
so I can't really say what all went wrong, but it was wrong. And so
right.
I really wanted to like really get it right, you know. And I didn't know what I was doing, and it was just terrible. So
Yeah, it's an experience. I mean, with film, you definitely have to know what you're doing. You definitely
yeah,
have to know what you're doing to get the, real clean, grain-free results.
and I didn't know, so I
Yeah,
got I
it's a
got grains everywhere.
process.
Yeah.
What's up, Reginald?
What's going on?
Man, here trying to hang on, brother. Trying to hang on.
We're already live, just so you know, Tashon.
I realize that.
Oh, okay. I was just telling you, just in case you didn't know.
Uh,
Hey, Reg, Jahan asked one question. She said, I see your work is very diverse. How did you integrate into other markets? I think that came up in the group the other day, too.
I would say the pictures you put on your website say a lot about who you work with. And if you put all black people, then you're going to get all black people. If you put all Indians, you're going to get all Indians. And it's stupid, but that's just how it works. And so as soon as if I shoot an Indian wedding that I like and I feel that it's good for my brand, it's going on my website. If I shoot a Persian wedding that I like, it's going on my website. If I don't mind shooting that type of wedding again, it's going on my website.
Mm. And if you don't want to shoot that again, then you don't put it on your website.
Yeah, it won't see the light of day. Not at all. But as far as black weddings, man, I don't know why. I just shot one about 2 weekends ago. But before that, it's been about 7, 8 years since I shot one. And I really can't tell you why that is, because I mean I get referrals, but they never just pan out. Whether it's price or they want to see more black weddings in my portfolio. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that because you're not getting the black weddings because you don't have them in your portfolio, and other people are not getting white weddings because they don't
Right.
have them in their portfolio. So you're almost on the other end of the spectrum. And you've
Pretty
said,
much.
yeah,
Pretty yeah. Because I mean 8 years ago, the wedding I shot, it was okay, but I mean it's not gonna be in my portfolio now. And
right.
since I don't have anything, and I always bring up that crazy myth about not being able to shoot black skin, which is the most idiotic thing ever. But yeah, and I try to tell them, it's not really the skin, it's how you see the light and how you shoot it and how you meter. But they don't want to hear that. They just don't see black people in the portfolio. So yeah, I am in on the other end of the spectrum. Like I have no problem booking Hispanic, white, Indian, but when it comes to black people, I just don't get it.
Can someone help this brother out with a second shooter job for black weddings?
Oh man, but yeah, no, they don't get me. It's all good though. It's all good.
So can you?
Can you talk about? Oh, I'm sorry, Lafayette. Oh, never. Um, can you talk about like I have a desire to be a hybrid photographer. I've tried film. It's expensive. So can you talk about like pricing, how that goes for a wedding, like the differences, like how pricing goes for a wedding, and then how many images and all of that turnaround time and all that stuff.
Got you, got you. Price. I have two packages. Is the first one is 5,000. That's half a day, which is 7 hours. 7 hours USB, a box of prints. The full day package is 9,000. It's 12 hours. It's two photographers, box of prints, and a USB. I don't believe giving an album with the package is smart, and that's just me. That's just how I do it because that there goes an upsell right there. And most of my clients do get albums after their wedding, maybe 2 3 months after their wedding. Um, it's situated. I do my packages like that because I want to make most of my money from me shooting and not me trying to sell them stuff afterwards because I'm not a salesman at all. And so my packages are based on me, you're paying me to do the work. You're not paying me to try to sell you product afterwards. And as far as film, um, there's ways around the price. It depends on where you get your film from and what type of film you shoot and how much you shoot. Like I know some hybrid photographers, they only use film, medium format film, when they do the portraits. Everything else is digital, which might cost them, in total with film costs and processing 80, 90 to $100 if they shoot a couple of rolls, like 5 or 6 rolls. Um, some hybrids do it like that, and then they use 35 millimeter for the details, and leave it at that. Some hybrids do the whole morning in film, and then when it gets like close to dusk, they shoot it in digital. I know some of them that do that also. So it really depends on like your pricing structure. If you start at 3,000 and you want to do all film, you're not going to make any money. I learned that the hard way. If you want to, you have to at least start at around 4.5, 5, and shoot half the day in film. Then you're good to go. But 3,000 all film, no. 3,000 half film, no. is going to be at least over 4,500. And uh,
Really? Really?
Mute yourself, Joss. Mute yourself.
I'm trying to. Sorry.
but I could
And
send you
you're
guys a
saying
link.
that, Reg, because go ahead.
Oh, I was saying I could send you a link to the pricing guide, and that way everybody could check it out and see what I'm talking about, like what's in the pricing and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah, inbox it to me, then I'll post it.
Do you ever
And you're saying, go ahead, Lafayette.
do you ever do you shoot a lot of other photographers' weddings that appreciate film as opposed to a digital photographer?
For the most part, yeah, I do. But because they like the look of it, and there is a certain look to film, especially color film, than it is to color digital. Let me find this thing right here. There we go.
What about non-photographers that appreciate film? Do you see that, or do they just like your photos as opposed to digital?
You know, most of my clients are either artists, architects, or lawyers, which is really funny because that like those field artists and architects, they're similar. They have, you know, the same art degrees stuff like, but lawyers, I have no idea why. But I got a lot of lawyers. Last year, pretty much almost all my weddings were either lawyers or artists. Um, Take that for what it is. But the artists and the architects really respect the aspect of me shooting film. Um, Whether it be it or not, when you shoot film or when you have to do something that requires a technical ability, like you technically have to know your exposures, all of them, to shoot film. Like I can't look on the back of my camera. Oh, okay, I overexposed. No, I mentally got to look at the light. Okay, well I need to shoot at f4 250. You know, I'm looking at the light. I can't chimp on the back of my camera. Oh, let me go up a little bit. I can't do that, unfortunately. So they respect that because you know they can't do the same thing. They can't, like an architect can't get a string and like, oh, okay, this is 7 inches. He can't do that. He needs a ruler, a square, stuff like that. So they respect the technical ability of it.
Can you talk about the post after you're done shooting the film? Because I started getting to film recently, and I went to Walmart to drop it off and to go to Fuji. What's your like? How do you approach that? Because I need a better approach.
My color film I send out to it's either two labs or I do it myself. I send out to Indy Film Lab in Alabama, or I send it to Goodman Film Lab in California. Both of them are real good. Both of them I worked with them for a couple of years. Or I do it myself if I have time and everything. And plus, I got a little girl now, so that time is gonna be a lot smaller. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't send it to Walmart. They have no knowledge of scanning. None. The dude that's scanning your film is probably making $8 an hour. You know, so he's not going to care how your color look. He's not going to care how sharp it is, the density of your scan. He's just going to say, okay, here's a picture. That's it. That's what you get. Yeah, I would definitely look at either one of those two labs, or actually, you can look at any lab, like Richard's Photo Lab is really good. Let's see, I think you're in Dallas, so Holland Photo Lab in Austin, you can mail your film to them. They're pretty good. I mean, you could look up film labs and send it, you know, test them out because you got to build a relationship with your lab to get like the consistent results that you like. It's a time thing. You gotta put the effort in. But after they have your pictures down, they have your images down to how you like it, then they will be able to do that the whole time.
Okay.
And as for black and white, I develop and scan black and white myself.
And do they give you the digital copies of everything?
Right, right. Once they scan it, it becomes either a TIFF, which I like because it has a lot more information, or a JPEG. And from then, they usually upload it to like a Dropbox or a Share It, and you download it from there. And then they send your negatives in the mail.
Okay, gotcha.
About how many frames do you usually do for like a wedding?
A 7-hour wedding, I might shoot about. Ah man, I might shoot about. It really depends on how crunk the wedding is, really, because I know that's an old word. Don't hate me for it, but it really depends on like how happening the wedding is. Because if it's a boring wedding, then I might shoot 400, 300 pictures. But if the reception is popping, then I might shoot 700 pictures. And that 700 pictures is for a 12-hour wedding. I don't shoot a lot of pictures. Let me get this thing.
Now, is that because of price, because of the film, or why?
No, not really. It's just because I know what I want and I know how to get it. So when it comes to a portrait, I might take one picture, maybe two if they blink or something like that. I mean, plus I don't want to waste time when I'm editing. I don't want to waste time going through like 3 or 4 pictures of the same portrait, you know, and picking the best out of the 4. If I get it right in the first picture, then I can just move on to the next pose or the next portrait or whatever. Share with. Send to.
Now, question for you: what is your what film speed are you normally purchasing or normally using?
I mostly use for color. I use Kodak Portra 400 and 160.
Okay.
And for black and white, I use Ilford Delta 400 and Delta 100, and Ilford Panda 50. Really depends on what I'm shooting. If I'm outside in like 12 in the afternoon, it's going to be Pan F because it's ISO 50, or Delta 100, which is ISO 100. If I'm inside, it's going to be Delta 400 push 2 to 3 stops, which is like 1600 and 3200 ISO.
Gotcha. So is Fuji a good one? Because that's what I'm using lately.
How can I say? Fuji is okay. They're that the Fuji 400H is actually like a 200 speed film because you got to overexpose it to get correct colors. I'm not real fond of Fuji because they don't really back film shooters. I mean, they'll let you buy their film, but as far as supporting film, like they keep raising their prices every 3 months. They're horrible company for film, and so I don't support them. I know some people do because they like the Fuji look, which Jose Villa made popular, but I don't like the look, and I just don't like how they run their company, their film side of their company.
So you grew up in a photography household with your father and your grandfather. How does that influence your shooting? How does that help you on a day-to-day basis? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, dude, My dad, yeah, he was okay. My grandpa was brutal. He was brutal. Um, he was a photographer in California, and yeah, y'all think critiques like saying yeah, he was brutal with his critiques. So I would say he helped me a lot. And actually, my wife and I got married, he sent me a little Leica camera. I I don't even know. Do we still have that camera? Sonata, do we still have it? No. Oh yeah, that's right. You broke it. Um, and he wanted to see the pictures from it, and I was like, dude, it's like a little digital camera. They're gonna be crappy pictures. You know, it's like it was a Leica Deluxe, and it's gonna be crappy pictures. But he would like he would like call us and mail us and ask us to see the pictures, and yeah, he's just a brutal dude when it came to critiquing pictures and everything. So you definitely got to get it right in the first one or two pictures, or he'll cut your head off. I think
So,
that's probably where I got that from.
so you grew up with that influence.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so can you talk about? Did he teach you how to shoot, or was it your father?
No. All right. I had a little Canon AE1 when I was 15, and I just pretty much shot around stuff like that. Then I kind of got out of photography because I started playing football. So and being in the hood, um, being in the hood, photography really isn't that cool. You know what I mean? Either you play sports or you in the game. That's pretty much how it is. And so I kind of got away from it. I was playing football. I really didn't get back into it until I would say 2000, 2005, 2000, 2004, 2005. Yeah. Hmm? Oh, so yeah. And I would say my dad didn't really influence. He was a photographer in the army. Then he worked for he was a photojournalist for a little while. And I would say I got my sensibilities from him, but they necessarily didn't teach me how to shoot.
Okay, I can dig it. What about how do you see? How do you? So I finally began to understand the term make a picture. So we all think we're cool. We're gonna walk up and take this picture, right? Can you talk about make a
Right.
picture? Can you talk about that make a picture process? Because I know you have it down. Being a film shooter, I know you have to think about it before you shoot it.
Right. Right. I guess being a film shooter, since film is a lot more expensive than it was 15, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you first thing in your head, you probably think about, do I really want to take this picture? Um, and that makes you think about, composition, stuff like that. Like, I need to get it right the first time, second time. Um, so my process is, when it comes to weddings, I'm pretty much a fly on the wall. I just stay back and I shoot. I try to get the cleanest backgrounds I can. I can't stand to have stuff in my background, foreground, or anything like that. So I try to compose my pictures to be very clean. Um, when it's portraits, that's easy because you're in control. You're pretty much in control. So she's having fun over there. No, that's fine. Um, so my process pretty much is with weddings, just get it. Just try to get good angles, flattering angles. Sometimes you can't get a flattering angle. That's how it go. Because yeah, I pretty much just go at it with the weddings and portraits. I have a lot more control, so I could get pretty much exactly what I want with one or two shots.
I can dig it.
So I have your I just opened up the pricing guide and I put it in the comments for everybody to see.
Okay. For some reason, on my iPad, I don't have the like a comment section. Maybe I do. I'm not sure.
It's okay. I can roll it for you. It's okay.
Okay.
So the question is, so I'm a screen share from your PDF. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. And so, hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can. Hold on. Screen share. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna see if this works. From here, can you see my screen?
No. All I see is the little Google Hangout icon. I see your name and I can hear you, but I can't see anybody's faces. Oh, there we go. I
You
see
can
it
see it
now.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so Jocelyn's question was, and Jocelyn is on. She says about like your posing and that type of thing. Like how are you coming up with that? And I'll scroll down so that people can see. So this
Okay.
is like, yeah.
Um, I really, how can I say this? I try not to like do real stiff poses because the way I do it is they're gonna move right into not necessarily the next pose because I'm moving around them. So I just sit them down, tell them to relax, look at me. I might tell a fart joke, some kind of stupid joke or something like that to get them to laugh because I like honest laughs. I hate telling people, hey, okay, now laugh. You're never gonna get a real authentic laugh. So I try to tell a joke, or I try to tell him to, tell a joke, tickle her, something like that, so I can get some authentic, emotion out of them. Um, I'm not a real posy dude. I might tell them to sit there, and I might wait a minute or two for them to relax, settle, then I start shooting around them.
Okay.
There's no real like rhyme or reason to my posing. Um, I really try to get the picture, which everybody do, but I really try to get the picture that best suits them.
Okay.
And some poses or some portraits fit faces better than other faces. And so if you're trying to force a picture that you really want to get on a face that it doesn't match or it doesn't fit, then that's just going to be a very bad portrait. Like I see a lot of pictures of people with very round faces, and the photographer chose a low angle, which is not good for the face. That face does not fit that angle, you know. So I think a lot of photographers should probably keep that in mind.
Okay. And so, like on these, like going back to your post processing, because these are very color rich, like they're beautiful. So you're shooting, and like you said, you're sending it off your color off to the lab to the
Uh-huh.
people. Okay. And about how long did it take for them to kind of nail down like Reg Cambell?
Indy, it took them probably a month of me constantly sending stuff to them. Danny, it didn't take Danny long at all because, oh God, Danny used to work at a film lab in California called PPI, Pro Photo Irvine. So he kind of had a good idea of what I wanted. And then about 3 years ago, he went off on his own and he started scanning, work for people by himself instead of for a lab. And so when I sent my stuff to him, he got it like the first order. So, and he's very good.
Okay.
It didn't take him long at all.
Okay. So do you want to move into not caring about what other people are doing? Because we're looking at your work, and so obviously this is not what other people are doing. So you want to have screen sharing, and you kind of, I guess that kind of segue into that because you're not doing what other people are doing.
Right. Um, yeah, I think I can't remember. I think I was talking to Lafayette, but I was telling him like I shoot weddings, but I'm not a big fan of wedding photography, and that sounds stupid, but I just think that people see images are like, oh man, that's so awesome. I'm gonna take that shot and I'm gonna do it. I mean, that's cool, but really you're just rehashing something that somebody has already done, and then somebody's gonna do that to you, then somebody's gonna do that to them, and it pretty much sets the stage for like real mundane imaging. Um, I guess like I said, the way I do it, I just go in there and I shoot. I don't have any images I want to get in mind. I don't have any pictures I think, oh, I need to get this. Or I just go in to a certain area. Okay, well, the light's right here. To get a good, well-exposed, awesome picture, I need to be right here. That's basically what I do. I can't stand I can't stand pictures of people, and also I think pictures should fit the situation you're shooting. I know it's popular for people to have images of the couple not looking at each other or looking sad or sulking, holding hands, looking away from each other. I don't get that. I mean, they're in love and they're getting married. I don't see why they would not be smiling. That's just me though. That's me. I don't understand that new wave of images, of pictures. I don't get it. And I think the more people who do that, they are actually hurting their brand because their brand is going to look like everybody else's or everybody else that's doing that. I would say shoot what you like. If you like that, that's fine. That's awesome. But shoot what makes you happy, and the people who like that will book you.
I keep hearing this reoccurring theme of I'm me. And that's the end of it. I'm me. I shoot what I want. I show what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. So it sounds like what you're advocating for is be you and don't worry about the rest.
Exactly. Because I mean, if you do you, then other people who like what you like are going to come to you. You know, and you could tell in their email when they send it to you, the first thing that pops up, oh, I love your work, and it resonates with me and stuff like that. Then when you meet them and you click, then you know, bam, I got it. You know, because everybody has the inquiry where, oh, they say I love you, and then you meet them and y'all have nothing in common. Most of my clients, when I meet them in person, our meetings are like, it's supposed to be, I usually try to keep my meetings around 30, 45 minutes. They end up being an hour and a half, 2 hours, because we're talking about other stuff than their wedding. Because through my images, they get a sense of what I like and what is important to me. And what I like is simplicity. Y'all can edit that. Simplicity and clean lines, clean images, and emotion. And they get that. And so you're going to get people that want what you want. And that's the best thing when it comes to wedding photography. You want people to hire you for what you like doing.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Unfortunately, my wife tells me what I like is not cool, so I'm gonna keep on to be her.
Oh man.
I don't know if this question was asked earlier, but do you ever incorporate, other lights when you're shooting? Was it all just as is? Speed light.
I do when I'm inside. I don't do any light. I'd much rather drag the shutter. Um, but when it's reception, I don't always have that option. Shooting at 400 speed film, I push it to 1600 sometimes. But like during the reception, I mostly use video lights. I mostly use video lights and some strobe, depending on how big the reception area is. If it's a massive reception area where they could fit like 400 or 500 people, then I might have a pro photo a QB in the corner, and that'll pretty much light up that whole area. But I'm not a fan of speed lights. I mean, the smaller the light source, the more harsh it's going to be, and the harder your shadows are going to be. So I'm not a fan of speed lights at all for wedding work. Now, if it's like editorial portraits, okay, then yeah, that might work. But for weddings, I think the light should be soft. It should be It should wrap around, and you can't get that with a speed light unless you have some type of Rinky modifier or something like that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Someone texted me a question. I guess they didn't get on earlier. You got something, Maya?
Okay, go ahead.
No, they were asking, how did you get into wedding photography altogether? What's the backstory? Unless it's already
Oh man,
discussed.
that is a good question. I really, I'm trying to think. I think I just like was like, hey, that'll be cool to do. I mean, because I already had a camera then, so I was thinking it'd be cool. This was like I don't know, 10 years ago. It'd be cool to do. I think that's pretty much how I got into it. I didn't get it for the money because I knew back then the money was gonna suck. So yeah, I didn't get into it because of that. I think I got into it because I thought it would be cool.
I have a question for you. How do you find your clients then and now?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I'm saying, how do you find your clients back then,
Oh, okay.
and how has it changed now?
Dude, back then it's totally different now than it was back then. We didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook pages. Hell, I don't even think I had Facebook back then. Um, Definitely wouldn't go book any weddings on MySpace. um, I think I advertised on mywedding.com for like a year. Um, and pretty much word of mouth, just handing out cards, networking, hustling, stuff like that. Now it's mostly pretty much all my referrals are word of mouth from my ex-clients or wedding planners. Mostly wedding planners. I used to try to get featured and published a lot. That works for a certain amount of time, but it gets really it's a lot of work, continuous work to get published and featured, and then when you don't see any work, you don't see any leads from it, it kind of gets disheartening. And it worked good, really, really good for a couple of years, but I just got tired of sending in, submitting, picking pictures for that. It got old real quick. It works though, it works, but it wasn't for me.
So for people that are getting into weddings, say people who want to shoot film, what advice do you have for them?
I would say if you want to get into weddings, I would say for one, don't do it for free. Charge something for your time because on the back end, a first wedding, you're gonna do so much work. You're gonna do so much unnecessary work. It's crazy. So I would say charge no less than $100 for your first wedding, 100 per hour. If you're doing a 10-hour wedding, $1,000. Yeah, I mean, this is your first one. You got to get in where you fit in somewhere, but charge. Don't do anything free. Um, if you want to do film and weddings, um, it depends on how many weddings you shot and how comfortable you feel with film. Because, like I said, with film, you got to know your exposures. And if you think you don't know your exposures, I wouldn't do it at a wedding. I would probably, take some of your friends out and shoot them until you feel very comfortable shooting film. Then work your way to like maybe 2 rolls, 3 rolls, stuff like that. If it's black and white is a lot more forgiving than color film. So if you want to shoot black and white at a wedding, I say try it at the reception or at the getting ready shots or something like that. Give it a go because black and white film works very well with the in-camera meter. Color doesn't. Color needs incident metering, which is a handheld light meter. You could use your meter in camera, but the images are going to more likely be underexposed for color film.
Well, I think
So I
that's
would
what
definitely,
happened. Yes. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yo, so I'm about to geek out since you're talking about incident light metering and in metering for camera, all right?
Go
So
ahead.
I have a light meter, right? So when
Right.
I go to it, are you exposing for middle gray or are you bumping up left and right depending on what you're shooting?
It depends on what film I'm shooting. If I'm shooting color film, I'm looking for middle gray.
Okay.
But see, the thing is, with incident metering, it really doesn't matter what color the light is, because it's going to give you middle gray anyway. Incident metering is going to give you, you're just metering, like, all right, for example, if I'm shooting a bride and I want to get her face fully, exposed correctly, so I'm gonna expose for her cheek. I'm an incident meter on her cheek, and that will give me the correct exposure to get her cheek and everything. Probably about 4, 5, 6 inches past that in a radial circle, correctly exposed.
So this is
If
what I
it's
mean.
black,
I'm sorry. This is what I mean. For example, okay. So instant light meters for middle gray. So let's say I'm
right.
shooting a Caucasian woman. Are you gonna open up a stop so that now you're sitting in zone 1, or are you still gonna shoot at middle gray and then have them bump it in post?
Let's see, well, incident metering, that doesn't matter because it meters the light. It doesn't meter the color of the woman. Like, she could be sitting next to a black guy. She could be sitting next to some super dark, midnight, platinum black dude. And they're both going to be exposed because it's not metering their color. It's metering the light that's shining on them.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if, say I meter for her face and it gives me, and I'm shooting at f8 and it gives me 150. And I meter for her face, his face, and it gives me 1/40th of a second. But if I incident meter between them and it gives me 1/25th, both of them are going to be exposed correctly.
Okay.
Because see, the reflective metering takes the color of their skin into consideration.
Mm.
But incident metering just meters the light of what's going to give you a correct exposure for the light.
Okay. So I was really mixing ideas together, thinking that we were talking about the same thing. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah. If you incident meter, and color film, you will never go wrong.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm gonna start incident metering with my digital camera just to see how it
Now,
works.
it'll work, but digital's latitude. Well, it might work. I never tried it with digital camera. I just know the latitude of some digital cameras is like, I don't know, 8 stops, 7 stops, something like that. And you might blow highlights. But I never really tried it, so give it a try and see how it works.
Gotcha. Do you have your equipment with you? Can you show it to us?
Some of it's in the bag, but I got my purse. This is let's see. This is like my beater 6x6. Look at it.
What do you use that for?
Portraits, street, pretty much anything. This is like my everyday camera.
Okay.
That's my everyday one. Do I have anything here? No. I do. It shoots 6x6 square because I love square. Yeah. Let's see what else I got. This is another everyday one. I got a lot of everyday ones. It's a Canon F1 film. Mirror.
So that's your Canon F1 and you got a bald head.
Huh?
That's your Canon F1 and you got a bald head.
Oh yeah.
Like bro.
This is a Pentax 645. I mean, it's kind of like the Contax. I think Contax is like really overrated, but this exact same camera, exact same dimensions. Yeah, and my other ones are in my bag and everything. But yeah, these are pretty much the ones I use not almost every day, but for the good part, every day. Yeah. Oh, here's one. And the Canon EOS 3. I use this mostly for street and stuff like that. Yeah.
Did everybody get reset?
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, what time is it? Okay.
Did you all get disconnected or was it just me?
I'm here.
Yeah, I think it was just you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
'cause I can
Okay.
see.
Okay.
I think I can see
Okay.
everybody.
Hey,
Okay.
Tamaya,
Okay.
Jahan has some questions on the side. You
Yeah.
see 'em?
I whatever happened just wiped out that whole screen out and
Oh,
now okay. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go. Is photography your only means of income? That's what someone wants to know.
Yes. Oh, did you hear me? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we heard you. And
I just
and
for
then
some reason
the
I
other
can't.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other question, how many weddings do you shoot a year on average?
Um, I try to. I want say about 15, 10, 15, somewhere around there. I mean, anything more than that, I'll probably go crazy.
Okay, and the other question you've answered already. Do you shoot weddings with poses in mind, or do you just go with it? And I think you've answered that already.
Oh, I don't mind answering again. Basically, I just go with it. I don't want to look real static and stoic, so I just go with it. I just, however they feeling and whatever they give me, that's what I get. But I do try to like, make it fun, tell jokes, keep it lively, stuff like that. Mm.
Anything else that you like? What do you think people ask you the most? Like most people from you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Is that Zoe? Oh, I was waiting for Zoe to come. People want to know like most from you. Like, what is your question that people always ask you the most, like from other photographers? Speaking engagements, like
Mm.
what do people always want to know?
How is it? This is gonna sound funny, but how is it being a black photographer? And I always tell them that I'm pretty sure there's some things that I deal with that other photographers, like my contemporaries, my white contemporaries or whatever, don't deal with. And it never fails. It never fails. At least I want to say a third of my weddings, somebody follows me around when I have the rings. Like follows, like do not let me out their sight type follow. And at first it kind of irritated me, but you get used to it. I mean, it's just how it's going to be. And or they might make jokes, don't leave with our rings, we're going to find you or something like that. It's just like or I shot a wedding in New Orleans last year, and the bride was from Atlanta. She was very nice, awesome girl. She was supposed to have her wedding at the Sea Island. I think it's called Sea Island in Cloister Bay or whatever. But I guess some kind of hurricane messed it up, or that's what she told me. So they had it in New Orleans. And usually I have a decision on what I'm going to eat for the reception. And they had like steak or chicken. And she automatically chose chicken for me. I didn't get offended. I didn't get offended. I just thought it was really funny. I just thought it was really funny. Um, and there's all kinds of stuff. Like I haven't booked a wedding because um, the bride's family was racist and stuff like that. Because they didn't know I was black until they met me. So yeah, I've had a lot of stuff. But I mean that's come to be expected when you're in Texas and you're in the South. That's to be expected. And I'm sure some of you guys have had the same thing.
Yeah, I think we've all dealt with it. Like you said, especially in the South.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Someone wants to know what companies do you prefer to purchase like your wedding products, like your albums and your prints from? Are you printing your prints at home, or how is that working? And your
Um,
boxes, like, um,
my boxes and my albums come from Cypress albums. Um, I do have another set of albums are below that, and I get those from Madeira. Um, uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. Because I only have one. I have two sets of albums. I have the leather flush mount, which everybody sells, and then Cypress has a beautiful album which has like cut edges to the paper and It's bound with ribbon, real pretty. Women love it. Um, they're a little more on the expensive side. Like you might like a 10 by 10, a 10 by 10, 20 side album might your cost will probably be about 500-600 bucks. Um, but they're worth it. And if you would charge them 22, 23, 3,000 bucks for an album, and it costs you 500-600 bucks. But I use Cypress albums because they're really well made, handmade boxes and albums. And then for my leather, I used to use the Leather Craftsman, but they're take too long. They take way too long. So I use Madeira, which I think is based in California, and it is actually ran by a photographer, Matthew Norwood. So and they're very quick. They're like 2 weeks bound. Under 2 weeks, you'll have an album, and they're very well made also. It's kind of dark up in here. Let's do this. Oh no. There we go. You ready? Okay. All right.
I know you got to go. I know.
How about I was just
Just the final. What about the prints? Because he said albums and prints.
Oh, right. The prints I get from Richard's Photo Lab. I have a working relationship with them, and I get them pretty fast, and they're pretty, I guess, reasonably priced. Like 8x10 is like $1.10, something like that. Awesome quality, and the biggest thing is they hand cut all the prints. Like there's no machine that touches your prints. They print them out and they hand cut them. I know that sounds like a sales tactic, but it makes sense. And the way your prints fit into the frame and how they're matted and everything like that.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
I would like to say, I'm honored that you guys asked me to do this. I mean, I'm an open book. If anybody has any questions after this, you could definitely message me, email me, hit me up whenever y'all can. Any questions? I think having a community that is as close knit and helps each other as much as this one is very needed. Um, this is probably the only group I've seen like this, and to be a part of it, I'm very thankful.
Hey, Reg, I just had one more thing for you.
Oh, what's up?
Do you do any workshops, or will you be speaking at any conferences or anything? Or
I will be at the Blink conference in Austin this year. I think I'm speaking on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as me doing my own workshops, I loathe the workshops. I hate them with a passion. I just think they're more of a Me Too will. I think they create more mundane images than they help. And I mean, if they teach you, good foundations, that's fine. But a workshop that's teaching you how to shoot like somebody else is not a workshop you should want to do. You want to find your own voice. And the only way to do that is to shoot, and shoot a lot.
It's a great answer.
right. Let's see. All right, guys. I think my wife, she gave me the mean stare, so I think I'm gonna have to go.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem. Like I said, if anybody have any questions, y'all can Facebook message me, hit me up anytime.
Oh, they're saying thank you. Great job.
Good job. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. You can log off. I'll hit stop broadcast.
Okay. All right. You guys, you have a good night.
All right, thanks, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Bye bye.